Right, this is what we're dealing with. Probably won't be able to see very well on the live action shots, the video itself. But there's the off button for switching the cruise control off. There's the set button with the, if I can zoom in a little bit, with the plus button that increases the speed, and the res stands for resume, and there's a minus icon on it. Those two are the main ones. These two are set to a limit, and also so you can't go over a certain speed, but you don't really need that. These are the main three buttons. That switches the cruise control off, that increases the speed and sets the speed, that sets the speed but decreases, not increases. And then just round here is the brake retarder, or the exhaust brake, or sometimes I call it the handbrake when I'm driving along. This is what I mean. You just click it down. This particular Mercedes has 3 stages, so that's what I'll be covering. Okay, on the right hand side of the Mercedes Actros, the left hand side for Volvos and Renaults, not sure about Scanias, MANs and DAFs. So what I'm going to try and do is make you aware of my thumb working on this little wheel. I will tell you when I'm going to use my foot to accelerate or brake, but any other time, it's not a trick, it's not a con, every other time I'll just be using my right hand to accelerate and slow down. It's a very relaxing way of driving, but you have to be aware that you are still in control of the vehicle. So should you need to, you can use your brake, your foot brake, independently. Just use it and switch off the cruise control. So don't rely on your cruise control for everything. It's just an aid to you as a driver. So far, no real dramas. I'm going to go down a hill a little bit, so I'm just going to ease off and use my exhaust brake or retarder. You can hear it change the gear itself. I've slowed down enough. Off again, and the cruise control, pick it up, change to the correct gear, and off we go. Again, my knee still here, not cheating. I know around this particular part of the A1 there's a garage just down a little dip on a blind bend, and it's notorious for vehicles trying to get out, pulling out, so we'll be aware of that. So I'm going to switch off by pressing the centre and then using my handbrake, take the speed up a little bit till I sit. There we go. We've now got a bit of a, yeah, so there is a lorry wanting to come out. Fortunately I'm not be able to pull over because this car's coming up on my outside lane, so which makes it possible for me to pull over. But I automatically went straight back onto my cruise control, resume button, switch off for this guy, let him pull forward. There's a lorry just going past me, let him in. Resume button again. Now I'm going to press it just so you can see it with my finger, and you can hear the gear change. Because I slowed down, I reset the button again. I slowed down, so it's now set at 47. So I'm now going to take it back up to maximum. Keep my thumb on the, and it's now thumb on the button. It's now set back at 52.8. Still nothing. I don't know if you can see me with my knees dancing around. It's that easy. Again, traffic in front of me is just slowing down a little bit. Going down a hill, I'm just going to take a bit of the, hear the gear change, take a bit of the speed off. We're on a bit of a bend. You can see what's happening ahead. Got a few lorries in front of me, obviously slowing down because of the weight and the runaway, runaway of the vehicle as you go down the hill. I'm now okay, fingers off, and automatically, because I didn't switch the off button, it was kept on cruise control, so I didn't have to press the resume button. And it's as easy as that. Again, all green band driving, just checking that near side lane, slip road. One last check, all clear. And just be aware, again, it's the old mantra that I keep using. Check your near side and your offside mirrors regularly, often as you can. Build up that picture as you're driving along. And again, perhaps even a little bit more when using the cruise control is to remember to, so I'm just checking on things. Yeah, remember to look as far ahead up the road as you can, taking in the full picture, the whole picture, because obviously if you're relying on your cruise control, you sometimes forget, and I've had to switch mine off. I'm now going to use my brakes because for some unknown reason there's a van in front of me. He's just put his brakes on. Not quite sure why. I can't see any reason why, so I've had to use my foot brake just to, I was getting a little bit too near, so off with the exhaust brake. You maybe wanted to pull into a garage, not sure. Obviously you can't see. No, I don't know why. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. And that's what you've got to keep an eye on. The unexpected all the time. Because there was absolutely no reason for the van in front of me to suddenly put his brakes on. Bearing in mind, on a dual carriageway, supposedly they can travel at 70 miles an hour. And for no reason at all, puts his brakes on and therefore caused me to slow down. I won't say an emergency because it wasn't that close, but enough for me to brake using my brake pedal rather than using my exhauster. So just be aware, just as I was saying, you've got to plan ahead a little bit more because you sometimes get into a false sense of security using cruise control. I mean, if you want to do it where you are saving fuel, then the more you look ahead, the more fuel you'll save, basically. It's that easy. And you can keep adjusting as you go along. I've switched it off again because I've reached the brow of a hill. I'm now going to go over the brow of the hill. That van's slowing down again. I'm not quite sure if he knows where he is, to be honest. Hopefully he'll disappear soon. Oh right, we've suddenly speeded up and he's decided he knows where he is, or whatever the problem was, he's gone. So I'm now going down a hill. I've switched off cruise control and I'm going to hopefully control the speed using the exhaust brake. I may need to just gently squeeze the foot brake. I'm down to my third setting and I've slowed down nicely, 47 miles an hour. That's plenty, so I can get back up, and now I can go resume button and reset my speed back up to 52.8. It's gone very dark, it's snowing again. Thought it might do. This lorry fast. He's going a lot faster than me. Sunglasses on earlier because of the bright sunshine on the wet tarmac, hell of a glare. So now I'm going to ditch them put my normal glasses on. I don't need them for driving, not medically, but I do like to wear them because they give me a nice clearer picture. You may be able to hear, okay, we've got a standing traffic now, which is typical of the A1. For those that who have been on it, it's a very nasty road from top to bottom, horrible road. There's always accidents, breakdowns, you name it. But hey ho, you've got to deal with it. These are the things we've got to deal with. So now you can probably hear the snow on the windscreen. Maybe be able to see it, I don't know what the angle is. So now I've got swirling snowflakes bouncing around on the road surface. I'm using my foot brake because there's a lot of braking going on ahead. Once I know what's happening, look as far ahead as you can, everything's okay. I'm now going to resume my speed. Press the resume button. So you can probably hear it coming down quite heavily. Not settling, it's blowing around in the wind. Just going to put my windscreen wipers on full, not full, not just on intermittent. I'm switching off my cruise control because there'll be a lot of car drivers not used to driving in conditions like this. The first thing they do is they slow down without any thought to what's behind them, and that's what's happening at the moment. The lorry's okay, they're used to driving in bad conditions, but there's a lot of, I'm not going to single them out, but there's a lot of drivers who really don't know. I'm using my foot brake because we've got hazard lights flashing. We've now got snow on the road, so now we're going to have problems with terrible road conditions. Yeah, so now I'm down to 26 miles an hour and just rolling along because the snow has settled, and obviously that now becomes a skid risk. So unfortunately I don't know what the angle is of the camera setting, but one thing that these lorries are not good at is sticking to the road.